Gallo, KC Thunder. Shai, you guys just have waves of guys to come in, defend, be scrappy, get the loose balls. Tell me what that feels like out there on the floor when obviously so much of your job is creation, just to have these waves of guys alongside you, helping to scrap alongside you.
Yeah, it's what we've looked like all year. Every guy has a role. In the beginning of the season, we made it a point to control what we can control in our role and in our effort and our energy, and locking in on what our role is part of that. And that's just something that we come into the building every day, we come to work every day, and we do. We try to master our role, and everybody obviously it looks different for, but we have a group of guys that embraces their role and tries to excel in it, and that's why.
The offense seemed to accelerate as the game went on. Some of that seemed to be your ability to create for your teammates behind the three-point line. Tell me about maybe the cracks that you were able to start to uncover as the game went on.
You know, they're obviously a good defensive team, and that's why during the second round, they did a really good job with a lot of ISO players last series in the Clippers. And it's hard to play against a defense that collapses and that is in the gap without trusting your teammates and the rest of your guys on offense. And that's what I try to do. I just try to trust them. When there was two on me, pass the ball, and then let them make a play from there. And our guys made shots, guys drove close and made plays, and that's why we were able to win.
Shai, Mark was just in here saying that, against Dallas specifically, like, their swings maybe come more often in the game, runs and stuff like that, because of how much they maybe shoot threes. I just wonder, like, as you're going through runs like you did in the third and the fourth, like, how much are you weighing that in the back of your mind, just, the potential swings with them specifically?
Yeah, I try not to get too high or too low, especially when you're playing a team like that. Like you said, it makes a lot of shots. But yeah, I just try to focus on the next possession, try to focus on what I can do to win the next possession for my team, whether it be offensively or defensively. And a lot of times I find myself, once I get lost in that, going on a run or whatever it is.
How do you feel in the postseason specifically? You've adjusted to this change and officiating that's maybe happened since the All-Star break, and what you see specifically today that maybe helped you get to the line?
I honestly, like, I like to just, like, play my game, and however it goes. Now, people say they've adjusted since All-Star break, since the playoffs. I honestly haven't felt so. Like, every night I just go out there, try to attack the rim, take what the defense gives me, and if some nights I get to the free throw line, some nights I don't, it is what it is. But yeah, I try to just play my game through it.
Yes, Shai. 29 assists tonight for you guys. You mentioned trusting your teammates. Just what you like about the way that you guys move the ball, not really getting into playing one-on-one?
Yeah, like I said, against a defense like that, you have to move the ball. You have to put them in closeouts. If you don't, it gets stagnant. Their size, their length, their physicality comes into play. They're really good defenders. So we knew that going in. And it's kind of a little bit the same thing with New Orleans. Like, against really good defenses, if you don't play like that, you get stuck and you can have a long night. So yeah, we just try to get better at it as the playoffs and the series goes on.
Kind of similar teams in a way. How much of that playing the series against New Orleans helped you guys to prepare for the Mavericks? Yeah,
every game is an opportunity to learn and get better, and that's how we view it. Win, lose, or draw. Tonight we obviously came out on the good side of things, but there's things we can learn from and things we'll try to get better at for game two.
There's a lot of talk about your size, specifically like the team size, but it seemed like almost everybody had like a chance to have like verticality at the rim with Gafford, whether it was you or Hayward or Giddey. Like, it felt like you guys all had, a chance to defend that. How do you guys prepare for that specifically?
It's one of those things you either do or like you lose, especially against a team. Like, they have really good offensive players, and you put two on them and there's somebody open, and they're really good at finding those guys. If you don't make those plays and you don't make the extra efforts, it's going to be hard to defend that way. and they put you in a bind and make you defend that way. So it's one of those things that if we don't do, we won't end up on the good side of things, and we know that. It's something you got to put your heart on and get done.
And there was a play in the second half on the right side of the court where you kind of came up grimacing. You know, what happened on that play, and are you feeling fine after that?
Yeah, I like just a little knee to knee. I'm fine though.
They came out third quarter, went on a little run, felt like Kyrie was getting rolling, cut it to 1. What was the key to how you guys responded after that?
We just try to focus on the next possession, and playing against a team that shoots the ball the way they do. We know that they can get hot, they can go on runs in the game. You never really have complete control of the game, and you never are out of a game. That's the mindset we try to take. We just try to focus on the next possession, and we stacked possessions for that next 5 minutes or so, and then got back to lead.
Will you watch the MVP announcement tomorrow?
Sure, why not? If I'm at home doing nothing.
Is there a level, like, do you feel any anxiousness for it all? Or, I mean, like, how are you kind of viewing that day, being that you're a finalist?
I didn't know it was tomorrow, but it's cool. I'm excited to see who wins.
Shai, this season, or earlier today, Josh called you an unselfish superstar and just praised the way you get your teammates involved. And you've mentioned trust among your teammates and the camaraderie you guys have, like we've seen the barking and the fun stuff. But, like, how much of that off-court, I guess, activity and friendship between you guys has helped the on-court chemistry and trust you guys have?
Yeah, it goes hand in hand. It makes it easier for us to play for each other and with each other just because we off the court, we know like each and every one of our teammates has our back and really cares for our well-being. And then in turn, just when you get out there, you're playing for something bigger than just yourself.
I've been trying to figure it out all game. My follower's been trying to figure it out all game. Are you willing to leak the designer of the fit?
This is Ferragamo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Gotcha.
Shai, I just wondered if you got nicked or how you're feeling.
Yeah, like a little knee-to-knee contact, but I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm good.
And I guess it was good to see J-Dub get going. I mean, when he got going, he really did.
Yeah. It's basketball. You're going to miss some, you're going to make some. But as long as you stay aggressive, and that's what I told him, just be aggressive, play through it. And he's too talented not to figure it out.
You said the other day at practice that, Dallas has 2 world-class scorers, but we saw that you guys have some pretty world-class scorers as well. Do you enjoy this? I mean, I know it's not you and Luka or you and Kyrie or J-Dub on either of them, but do you sort of enjoy that sort of back and forth and just sort of putting that out there on display?
Yeah, playing against, and you get a lot of opportunities in this league. You play against the best basketball players in the world, and it's always fun to play against that and see where you really match up. There's no bigger stage, there's no bigger game than when you go against the best, so those games are for sure fun.
Everybody talks about your shot making you and Jalen and other guys can do, but you played 5 games, you haven't get 100 points yet. Talk about your defense, your team defense.
Yeah, it's where we hang our hat every night, especially this late in the season. We know that if we want to win basketball games, that it's going to start on that end. And obviously we have some really talented guys on that end of the floor. But we also like to do it together and not just rely on those guys. And I think we've done a good job to this point.
Anybody else? Thank you, Shai.